Welcome to Dollars, Lifestyle, and Charity, a finance podcast for gamers. I'm Scruffy, and this is Romans. Today we're going to
Finger
be talking a little
guns.
bit. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about all the summer sales that go on, and when it's smart to buy a game, when it's maybe smart to let it go, different things like that. Before we get into that, Romans, what have you been up to lately?
I just came back from meeting with billionaires. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I flew to San Francisco to go to a Y Combinator event that was run by Gary Tan, who's been very open about his Christian walk, and he invited Pat Gelsinger, former CEO of Intel, to basically talk about failure and what life looks like after that. He was just recently let go as a CEO of Intel not too long ago. And it was just following a downfall of Intel's performance. And at the end of the day, like I think in all places, if an entity fails, the leaders should be accountable for that. Even the Christian ones. So Pat just gave his testimony to a very interesting crowd, and by interesting is I believe 50% of the folks there weren't there for Jesus. They were there to just hear about this business guy talk about how he dealt with losing his career, if you will, and having to reshape
Mm.
it and remold it into something else. He started at Intel at the age of 18 or something like that. So,
Wow.
and he climbed all the way to CEO, and he's done other things other than that. He's led other companies like VMware and other things, but he's known to be the Intel guy. So to no longer be known as the Intel guy, it's a paradigm shift. And how do you adjust, even though he's a longtime business guy? Anyways, so a lot of the folks in there. There's one guy I talked to. He was so secretive. He's like, I sold my Fusion company to Microsoft. Like,
Oh,
and I
wow.
was like, he's like, I'm in the energy sector, and I'm just like this dude. I didn't get much more about him, but I can only imagine being in Silicon Valley and having some government fusion company. I bet you he probably sold it for billions. Obviously, he'll never say, but it is just wild.
Mm.
Innovation that takes place in Silicon Valley. It's still the tech hub. And honestly, I think it's where innovation just comes from when it comes to the tech industry, whether it's gaming, computers, or uh, driverless taxis. It's all there. So that was a fun time. Then I got to hang out with Basil Tech, which is it's another entity, but it's closely related to Crazy Love Ministries, which is Francis Chan's operation. Got to hang out with those guys and just get to hear their hearts, and they're just so driven. Their new initiative, Bible Dojo. It sounds so cool. It's basically a very smart way to help you to really dig into the Bible. They're working
Mm.
on a way to make it super innovative and interesting. I'll save it for later because I know eventually they're going to release something for the public to see. But I think it could be BibleDojo.com. Not sponsored, by the way, but they're just such great bros in tech, and they're really thinking how to do what we've always been done differently in using
Mm.
tech to make it even more efficient and effective for your walk with the Lord. So that was this past week, and now I'm back.
That's awesome. Very cool.
How about
Very, very
you?
cool. Yeah, this past week I actually got to be on a stream with one of our Reach community streamers. Shout out to P Tony. He
Mm.
had me on his game show, Game of Favorites, this past Friday, which was a ton of fun. I had such a great time. Came in second. I only lost by like 6 or 7 points. It was pretty close. But I had a great time. It was me, a part of member of their Game of Favorites community, and then two other streamers, two VTubers actually. One of
Mm.
who I know, Junie, is part of the Reach community, and I don't know if Flame is yet. You may know Flame Prince. I don't know if he's a
Mm.
part of the Reach community yet or not,
I'm
but
pretty connected, but I know Juniper would, but I don't quite know
yeah,
Flame. So that's probably the only reason
yeah,
we haven't met. But in due time.
yeah, yeah. So that was a lot of fun. First time being on that show, and had a really great time. I wore my for almost the entire episode. I wore my Chewbacca head,
Wow.
which so if you want to see me in my Chewbacca head sweating it out for like an hour and a half, Go check out the VOD.
Yeah, and he came in second. And that's a thinker game. It's about being funny and being fast and being relevant. And yeah, the topics are can be all over the place. So good stuff. Oh, you know what's
Yeah, it was a
funny?
lot
We're
of
going to
fun.
do that live at Reach Conference November 6, 7, 8 here in Orlando, Florida. So if you want to see that very game show that is on done live with 4 streamers and hosted by Petoni, we'll see you there. See the comment
Be
notes
there.
for the link. All right. Did it.
Yeah.
Add out of the way. Let's get to some value here. What are we talking about today?
Yeah, talking about all of the summer game sales that go out. We're officially into the summer now, and I don't know about you, Romans, but whenever I boot up Steam, I always get those advertisements of the games that are going on sale. And for me, some of these sales that they throw in front of my face are really tempting. Especially they do such a great job with the advertising because they'll X out the previous price and throw out the new only $5.99. And it's really hard to give up some of these sales that they put right in front of you. Um, so yeah, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that. We're a finance podcast. We're here to help you. So I wanted to talk about some ways to be smart about when to buy games, what are some good sales to look out for, and when it might be best to kind of let things go by the wayside.
You know, it's funny you say that, and there's something that Epic Game Store does every week that I haven't checked because I've been flying and traveling all over the place. I was in 5 states in 4 days last week, so let's see.
Dang.
I didn't even talk about other cool stuff I did, but I'll save that for another day. But the Epic Game Store usually gives a free game of the week, and I'm curious what is this time. It is, oh my gosh, that is a real game, Deathloop. So
Oh,
Deathloop
okay.
is free in the Epic Game Store, and it is a phenomenal game. I don't own it, so I'm gonna do the little clicky click. They want $60 for this game, and I gotta tell you, I think it's worth it. I think it has a fantastic story. You have to have a suspension of belief because a little bit of time travel going on. It's a shooter game, and you're trying to solve a crime, and you're trying to solve. I forget the exact story, but you're trying to solve. It's like a murder mystery, and somehow you
Yeah.
get stuck in the middle of it all. But you know, one thing about the Epic Game Store before we get into it is I got a game I've wanted for 8 years for free through the Epic Game Store. And I after that happened, I can't remember which game it is because there's just so many of those that I wanted. But it was one game I think they also wanted $60, and I got it for free, and I haven't played it yet, which
Of
might
course.
play into what you're gonna tell me later. But at least I got it for free this time. But there's so many great games. We are definitely in a season of great game development,
Yeah.
both big and small. There's still a lot of shady folks out there looking to make a buck for ill reasons. But man, we're also in a great place of some. Oh, my backlog of games. Someday, I'll play them all. It might just take 200 years.
A little bit. That reminds me too. Another great place to check, especially during the summer for some good free games, is Twitch. If you are a Prime member, there are a lot of times will be free games that you can download to GOG through Prime when you're watching Twitch. And I think that'll switch every, couple of weeks. I remember a couple of weeks ago, one of my all-time favorite games growing up went free on Twitch. It's a game called Star Wars Galactic Battlefront. A bit of a Star Wars nerd, if you couldn't tell by the Chewbacca head. Um, and it's kind of like if you ever played Command and Conquer or some of those like real-time army strategy games, it's like that, but Star Wars. Game I grew up playing on my dad's old work Apple computer. That the screen holder broke, so I had to stack up a couple dictionaries behind it so that the screen was propped up. But I love that game so much, I do it every single time. Um, but yeah, so there's definitely some free games, especially during the summer that are released and popped up. Sometimes they're not worth anything, but like Roman said this week, which will be a couple weeks later by the time this episode comes out. But be checking the Epic Game Store every week for for those game drops. That's actually not something I knew about, and sounds like there's some really good games out
Oh
there.
my goodness! I just shared with you information you didn't know. The Epic Game Store. Oh my goodness, yeah. And next, they actually, unlike other folks, they actually tell you what's coming up if you click on it. Next week will be 2 Point Hospital, which is
Oh,
a
I've heard that that game's actually really good.
oh, it's such a great game. I played it with my kids on the Switch, which is kind of funny because we were just talking about Switch in another episode. But yeah, it's such a hoot. It has comes up with funny illnesses that aren't real, and you're just running a hospital trying to heal as many people. While what it's kind of related to our podcast. You have to run a profitable hospital so you can buy, the new fancy machine to cure the new funny illness, and they need to hire funny doctors, and on it goes to keep a running hospital going. Yeah, it's such a hoot. The 2 Point, they create a lot of 2 Point this and that. The 2 Point Hospital is definitely a favorite.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Um, yeah, it's good to be keeping an eye out on stuff like that because um, games can be expensive, and there are some great games out there that may not be initially worth the price, but are fun, still fun games. Good to get into your library. So yeah. So talking about summer games, we definitely were some questions that I had wanted to bring up. So first thing I wanted to talk about, Romans. Do you have any subscription services like Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, different things like that? And do you think those are worth buying?
So I have been a very long time happy PS Plus game owner forever until I became a PC gamer. And what I learned, what I didn't know, is PC gaming. I think overall PC gaming is way more expensive, right? Like I'm just staring
Hmm.
at my, at the time when I built this PC, I think it was around $4,000. Like imagine
Jeez.
spending $4,000 that's just on the PC alone, on all the parts, right? This is when all the Bitcoiners were going crazy and they were like the crypto bros made graphics cards go through the roof, right?
Yeah.
And I think the graphics card alone was like 2,500 to 3,000, and then all the other parts were the rest. And that's just for the tower. I need monitors, which is another, depends on how fancy you want to be, but mine were way more than $500 each, and there's two giant ones. And then all the peripherals, keyboards, and all of that. So all that to say, this gaming setup can cost you, at least for me, I'm over 5,000 easily, and it probably won't last 5 years. Because I use it not just for gaming, but I use it for work. I use it for everything. So it's put to work. My PlayStation though was only used to play PlayStation, right? And maybe I play for 3 hours, 2 hours, 5 hours on the weekend, 6 hours. But ever since I went to PC, I don't play it much. But my son does, and so for my son, that's the one thing I don't like about PS Plus now that I'm not a heavy user is you can't play on the internet if you don't have one. So even though the
Yeah.
game is free, you have to pay PS Plus to play on the PlayStation, and that's one thing that's free on a PC. You can play any game
Yeah.
that's on Steam or Epic or GOG, name the platform, even the Blizzard guys. Whatever the game, as long as you own the game, you don't have to pay to play. Well, I take that back. The Blizzard guys, they know how to take money from folks in intelligent, organic ways that somehow feels normal, and get you to pay monthly. But the PlayStation Plus is the only thing I pay for, and honestly, I just pay for my son. But I also think PlayStation has it on me because I've had it for probably a decade. I have every game they've ever given, and I get to keep those games until I stop paying. So I literally have probably like 300, 500 games because you get free games from PS Plus. And they've changed it's been demoted so heavily now. But back in my day, you would get at least 2 games a month or something like that, or 3 games. I forget, 4 games. So I tell my son all the time when he says I want to play a new game, I'm like, buddy, there's 500 games in that thing, every which way, racing games, time management games, shooter games. You want to park cars, go for it. It's all in there. You just got to find it. Uh, but yeah, no Game Pass. I'm not a Game Pass guy. If I was a streamer, I would definitely have Game Pass. Game Pass is definitely a great way for gamers, new streamers, new content creators, folks a little tight on the budget to taste every game as long as you're willing to. I don't know. I don't know what the monthly is. Is it 30? I don't know, 20?
It's like, oh no, for the PC Game Pass, it's like $10 a month.
Wow. I don't know how they're making money, but okay. Well, that's still 120 a year.
Yeah,
Maybe. Yeah.
that's how I justify it because I am definitely a PC Game Pass user. That's how I'm playing Clair Obscur. And PC or the Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass has really been going in on some of their day one releases. Um, like Clair Obscur, Doom, and I think even Oblivion all came out day one on PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass. And for essentially, if you're paying for Game Pass, you're buying 2 games a year. But if you're getting the day one releases with some of those games, you're going to be making. It's going to be worth it. You're not making money, but you're going. It's going to be worth it to spend the money on the Game Pass to get those day one releases that you'd probably want to be buying anyway. At least that's the way I look at it. So I definitely think that some of these subscriptions are definitely worth it. Game Pass especially.
Or you can just be a Marvel rival sweatlord like me, and since the game is free, and you just lock your wallet far, far away where the Marvel rivals guys can't get to your wallet, you just play for free. So like I haven't bought a game. Well, I did buy Monster Hunter Wild, and I'm still rank 6. But that was definitely an emotional game. I am a huge Monster Hunter fan. And so that's kind of where gaming, I feel like they take it too far. Not Monster Hunter, but others. Like when you love your franchise, you will throw money at the screen for it. I think I paid $70
Oh yeah.
for Monster Hunter Wild, which came out probably 100 days ago, and I've played it 4 times.
Mm.
I just don't have time, right? Anytime I have, I'm gonna play Rivals with my son, then play Wilds by myself. And thank goodness he didn't want to play because I'd have to buy it twice. That's
Yeah.
for each of us. But yeah, Game Pass is great. I hear great things.
Yeah. So you kind of touched on one of the subjects that I also wanted to talk about, which is buying a game and then never playing it. When we see all these game sales go on, even if it is not paying full price, I have had so many friends that fall for the pop-up Steam ad. As soon as you open Steam, they'll pop up with whatever the deal of the week is, deal of the month. And sometimes they're really, really great deals. Um, but for those of you who are trying to continue to be on a budget and watch your money, it's really easy to fall prey to some of these sales because if you are already playing a game, I know for me, uh I'm playing Clair Obscur right now, and I already have 3 RPGs in my queue after that. So I'm not buying any RPGs, no matter what sale Steam wants to throw at me. There's a couple games that I definitely would like to play at some point, but I already know I'm not going to be able to play a new RPG that I haven't bought yet until 2026, maybe 2027. And even if it's a fantastic deal, I uh even if it's a fantastic deal, is it still going to be a fantastic deal 2 years later when the next game's already come out? I don't really think so. And then, like we were just talking about, I just recently experienced this. I bought a game that was on sale because I knew it was going to be a game I wanted to play, Metaphor Fantasio, Atlas game that I really, really wanted to play. Bought it like a month ago when it went on sale. And guess what game just popped up on Xbox Game Pass? Metaphor Fantasio. So now
Mm.
I could have played that for free, but it went on sale. I was like, oh, I'm gonna play this at some point later this year, so I'll just buy it. And I didn't have to do that. It would have been free if I had just waited a couple of months. And I mean, I didn't know it was gonna show up on Game Pass, but it did. So yes, some of those deals can be really, really tempting. Um, but just be patient. The deals are going to come. And we'll kind of get into some of the budgeting hacks on like different ways that you can be ready for these deals. Um, but yeah, Romans, anything you wanted to add on letting these sales pass? Or maybe you're wrong, Joey, you should buy every single game that pops up on the Steam sale.
You know, you should do your part to support all the wonderful indie creators and mega wealthy corporate dudes who need a new helicopter and buy every single game you see, regardless of, even if it's early. My favorite thing is to buy EA games, not Electronic
Oh no.
Arts. I just love to buy early access games because I know those games will get done if I give them my money. No, no, no. But Dune Awakening, that's a game I really want, and I'm just waiting because I don't think any of my friends want to play it.
Mhm.
So I love these. I love survival type games. That those are my flavor of the month or flavor of the day.
Mhm.
Every day is a good day to play a survival game. So Dune Awakening is definitely. I hope it goes on sale. I can wait because I'll be playing with just dudes on the internet. Unless my friends somehow uh, get bit by the Dune bug. But yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. I'd love to be a contrarian, but at the end of the day, it's hard to disagree. I also have the thing. I probably have bought 40 games on sale during the summer. Don't they also do one during Christmas? I think I get hit.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I get hit
Yep.
twice a year. But I feel heavily satisfied in my backlog. I really feel like I have enough in my backlog. There's literally no reason. And right now, running Reach and doing all the things I'm doing for the Lord, I don't. My gaming is really limited right now. And then I want to play with my
Mhm.
son. He'll only be a young little guy for so long. So when he tells me he wants a game, I just want a game on my boy. Like I remember when I was a kid, I wish my dad or I liked it when a sibling would play with me. And so and I'd say I like playing with my son. He's actually really good. He's starting to reach that point where he's better than me. And,
Oh
and
no.
well, you say oh no, but I think that it's something that happens inside of you. I'm happy for it. Like,
Mm.
like there I agree. The old me would be like, I gotta be the best forever. But I think it's really cool when your kids surpass you in things. As long as your ego can handle it. And he's very gracious about it. He doesn't say, Grandpa, you need a wheelchair. He'll usually we're playing together as well. I think it'd be harder if we were fighting each other like in
Yeah.
Street Fighter or some type of thing. But usually we're playing on the same team. So I'm like, you get him, son. Like yesterday, I told him use his Olden Rivals, and he used it. He got one kill, and I took out the other four, and we won. I'm like, oh my, that could not have worked out better, son. Like I said, use it, and you. I didn't have to tell you who to aim at. You chose an unfortunate soul, and then it was a healer, so I could just go in there and wipe out the rest of them. Because without a
Nice.
healer, I'm a Thor main, so for those who know
Oh.
Rivals, when there
Oh
isn't a
gosh.
healer around, Thor can just do whatever he wants. I'm just bullying people, slam them into a wall.
Mhm.
It's such a good time. Such a good
So that
time.
was your son that killed me the other
Yeah,
day.
yeah. Yeah, he can aim. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh gosh. As a Luna main, I can. Ugh, I hate the Thoro.
Yeah. Where are you going? Where are you going?
I can't run away.
Yeah. Should you missed your
But
freeze. Yeah, let's do that. All
yeah,
right, so yeah, great point, great point. Next question.
yeah,
What other things you got cooking in here? Let's take a look.
yeah. So wanted to talk about a couple budget friendly ways to buy games. One of the things that I actually do when I know I want to buy a game. Um, so what I do when I start getting towards the end of my game catalog is what I'll do is I'll wish list some games on Steam or Epic or whatever. And when you put something on your wish list, they'll actually let you know when there's a sale going on. This happened recently. A good friend of mine really wanted to play Deep Rock Galactic with me. I didn't really want to play for $40 for that game because I knew I wasn't going to play it that many times. So I threw it on my wish list, and like I think it was like a month or two later, I got an alert that it's 75% off. So instead of $40, I bought it for $10, which was fantastic. I absolutely love that. So utilizing your wish list when you know that there's going to be a game you want to buy, being able to control your impulse nature of like, oh, I want to buy this right now. If you're playing a game, take a step back and just throw a couple things on your wish list and then be open to being able to, move your games around because Steam especially will put a sale every couple of months that they put some sort of sale on, whether it's focusing on FPSs, RPGs, puzzle games, they will cycle through their sales frequently. And then, especially in the summer and winter, they have some really, really big promotions going on. So utilize your wish list, throw some things on there, and wait for those sales because that's a fantastic way to actually have the sales serve you instead of you getting served by the sales.
I had a game. I can't remember it now, but it was on my wish list. I got the email that it was on sale, and I missed it. And I was so sad. But it shows you how bad my backlog is. I can't remember tell you which game it was. And then it was on sale again. Oh, I know it is Dark and Darker, Darkest Dungeon, one of those two. I think
Oh
it's
yeah, yeah.
Darkest Dungeon, maybe
Darkest
that's the
John.
name.
Yeah,
I really wanted to play that game, and I missed it twice on sale. I almost made myself buy it full price just because it was finally time for me to play it. And would you believe it? It was free on the Epic Game Store because I had waited so long, like 4 years. It eventually is just free because you just waited so long. They just want to get player involvement because Darkest Dungeon 2 is coming out. And no greater way to get people excited about the second one is to play the first one. And yeah, and that game it's a great game. But I agree with you. Self control is huge. But I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I'm 40 deep at least. So of course, I can say that. I've broken every sage advice you've said to the moon and back. So yeah, sure. I'm great. Don't be me. Do as I say, not as I do.
yeah.
Classic old guy advice.
Yeah, and that's a really great point. The sale will come again. If you do miss it, don't, be sad because this there will always be another sale. Steam wants you to buy games, surprise. So they will give you sales to try to get you to buy games.
Hmm.
So, all right. Next question I have and wanted to talk a little bit about is what are some ways you can find out if a DLC or microtransactions are worth buying? This is something that I used to be super guilty of. When I saw a game I was interested in, I would buy the game and buy the DLC immediately. This is something that I would definitely pause on because there's definitely been some games where I've totally regretted that because I didn't enjoy the main story or I just didn't like the gameplay or something like that. DLCs can be really, really great. I know just recently the newest DLC for Elden Ring came out, and I've seen some people that are really, really enjoying it. There are definitely some DLCs that are worth it, but take a step back. Make sure you enjoy the game you're getting before you purchase a DLC, because that's oftentimes where a lot of these game developers will make their money off of the DLCs. Um, so if you enjoy a game and you want to support the creators, the game designers, go for it. Buy the DLC, get that skin that looks really, really good. But my tip or hack or whatever we call it, wait a couple days, play the game a few times, see if it's actually something you're going to enjoy before purchasing it. I know for you Smash Bros people out there, what my friend who played it did, he would only buy the DLC characters that were actually viable for competitive play. He would wait a couple of weeks to see if the fighter was actually good. Other than Sephiroth, he bought Sephiroth instantaneously because he loves Final Fantasy. But he would actually wait and see like if the character made sense, if it would be a character he would want to play online, play competitively in tournaments, and that can actually help you save some money on buying something that you're never going to use or not enjoy.
And I'll take it from another angle. Maybe you're an emotional gamer like me, and so Final Fantasy 15. Did you ever play that one? The one with Noctis?
I
No.
have never played a Final Fantasy game,
Okay, cool. So you're not a real
believe it or
gamer.
not.
But for the rest of us who are real gamers, Final Fantasy 15 with Noctis, I did the opposite. It's Final Fantasy. I'm gonna commit to playing this game. I already talked to my wife. Give me 50 hours this week. Literally, I'm gonna no life this. Just take care of the kids, take them to school. Just do everything, right? Like be a Proverbs 31 woman plus another Proverbs 31 woman. Like be a Proverbs 62 woman, and just let me have a week of this. And let me tell you, that game took you in such an emotional journey. And since you'll never play it, the ending is rough. I haven't played a game where the game is like, oh, you love this character? Let me watch you cry as I destroy them right before your eyes. And so 50 hours
Spoiler
in,
warning.
yeah, everyone you love essentially dies in some horrific way or something like that. I'll leave it as a mystery if you want. But I was so emotionally torn. Like 60 days later or something, they wanted a DLC or something. And honestly, I was so sad over how the game ended and how horrific. It's definitely a Romeo and Juliet type game. It doesn't end happy. Even though you win, it's like the price of winning is not worth it. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but I couldn't spend another dollar in the game because they wanted you.
Mm,
Because then the DLC is before the game ended. And I'm like, guys, I can't play the happy memories. I know where this road goes. You want to give
mm,
me more happy times when you are gonna rip my heart out again if I have to go to the end and just see how the horrid demise of everyone? Like, no way. So I was the opposite. I could not bring myself to spend money on it. And it's honestly the only game that I've ever played, probably in my life, where I was so sad and literally just so sad how they chose to end the game. I didn't want to go back to the happy times because the sad where they are now is just so sad. Uh, I don't know, that game hits so different, and I've played. Well, I take this back. I've never played the MMO Final Fantasies, but I would say I've played every single Final Fantasy, uh, except maybe the ones with the lightning. There's one with like lightning. Her name is Lightning. I think she's like there's some sisters involved. Uh, I've yet to circle back the wagons on that. But man, that knocked this game. What a great game. Kudos to game developers who really take you on emotional journeys. I'm a sucker for it. Don't do any
yeah.
dad
Oh
daughter
gosh.
things. Now that I have kids, oh my gosh, I will cry like a baby if something happens in those lanes. That's not fair. But yeah,
Reminds me of the God of War games. The story for the God of War games hits me so good. I always love a good father-son relationship, and the writing for those games is so incredible. Have you played them?
I own them, and I could. There's some sad parts like, oh god, is where this is going. I'm just an emotional gamer, I guess, or I
Yeah.
think games that hit me in the right place, they'll take me a little bit because I'm just like, oh no, you just isn't that the point? Like, I don't want to be numb to it, right? You took the
Mm-hmm.
time to get these great actors capture this motion. I want to absorb it and feel it and let it do
Mm-hmm.
its thing. I don't want to be like, it's a game, it's not real. Who cares? It's a Final Fantasy. I'm just gonna throw that axe across the room. My son, bow that thing. Like I want to get lost in the sauce. Isn't that why you watch a
Mm-hmm.
movie? Why do you watch a movie and not get attached to the characters? Because it's a bad movie. But the good movies, like every Tom Cruise movie ever, even though he's a little bit of cuckoo on the real side, that guy can pump out a movie. Um, so if Tom Cruise makes it, I'm gonna watch it and get ready to cry or just get lost in his craziness because he's.
Yeah.
And same thing with games, great story. Let's play.
No, I completely agree. I do think that video games are maybe the best medium to tell a really good story because, you can have there are some fantastic TV shows, movies out there, but gaming is unique and it gives you the opportunity to actually participate and be a part of the story, which is something that TV show and movies can never do. It's one of the reasons I got into gaming in the first place was like, oh, I get to be a part of this story. I get to tell the story from how I want to, unless you're a certain game developer that likes to shoehorn you into every single choice. But besides that, it's great.
Yeah, no, I've so many. If you have the time for it, that's why I would always say my favorite. If I had time, I would play role playing games all the time.
Mm,
JRPGs with a heavy lean on JRPGs, because man, they really tell a great story.
hmm
But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna cry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that emotional. Next question, Professor.
All right. Last question we have today is what about the third-party game key resellers? There's a lot of those out there on the internet. Um, I have used one before, but the thing with this, I think that's the most important thing to keep an eye out, is there are so many companies out there that want to scam you into what looks like a great deal, but is actually a completely different game key or something like that. I've definitely known of a couple people that um, want to play a game and they don't have the patience to actually wait for a real sale to come on. So they'll go to all these third party game sellers and find one where it's like, oh my goodness, this game that just came out 2 weeks ago is 80% off. This is amazing. Let me buy the key for this. And they're buying some off the, off the wall remake of a different game that you now have a Steam key for a completely worthless game. Um, so now, not to say that there are no good third-party resources. There are definitely a couple out there that are worth it. Um, but this is one of the uses I have for Reddit is I love going on Reddit and just saying, "Is this a legit company?" And Reddit will almost always give you the right answer.
Have you ever heard of Humble Bundle?
I was in a streamers chat just the other day, and they were talking about it.
So
I don't know much about them.
yeah, so I don't know much about their background, but long ago when dollars and cents in gaming was a real big deal for me and it affected my budget heavily, Humble Bundle was amazing back then. I don't know what it's like today. I haven't used it in forever, but Humble Bundle had this crazy idea where they would talk to game developers and they would say, "Let us sell your game for any price we give and we'll give the majority of it to charity." So Humble Bundle back in the day, maybe it still works this way, is you would buy a game or a package, a blind box, if you will, and you could pay whatever you wanted, and whatever was in it was in it. Literally, you could pay $1 if you're that egregious about it, and you would get 10 free games. There was another thing they did where they'd had monthly packages where you'd pay a package and every month you'd be delivered some hot games, but it's also blind. And that's the one I did. I paid like $12. And I had it for about 6 months, but what I found out at the end of 6 months is I had 200 games. And so even though I paid them, $6 times 12, like $70, I got 200 games. There was at least 100 I would never play. But the other
Yeah.
100 were legitimate games. The one catch, the Humble Bundles, they only ever sold you the core game. So if there's a game you really wanted, where's that? There's a really long term based one, but there's like 30 DLCs for it. Got
Mm.
Total War, the Total War genre.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Total War, I think is Warhammer. I got it through Humble Bundle. I paid like $5 and I got the base game, but I didn't know that it's kind of part of the Total War thing where they drop a new DLC. And it's like 30, $40 every like 60 days or something like that.
Oh
So
goodness.
give it 6 months and you're just behind if you don't buy the new DLCs. You can't. You can still have a good time, but you're stuck in a smaller sandbox. And yeah, so if you're really, I guess the new tip of this podcast is check out Humble Bundle. I checked the website's still live, but just perusing it in 3 seconds, it looks a little bit different. So buyer beware. But it was a great way to raise money for charity, but also just pay what you can for games. If you're a little bit less picky, if you just want a great game but don't care which one, there's some cool deals there. So
Yeah. Very cool. I'll definitely have to check that out because it sounds interesting. I like the premise at least. It looks like, could be for a good cause. So that's interesting.
hmm
Sweet. Well, yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover today. But I know for me, whenever I see those good deals pop up across my screen, I feel like there's something in all of us where we see a great deal that's 90% off or 80% off. We want to take advantage of it. Um, but know yourself, know what your game catalog looks like, and take a step back and see, do you really want, is this a game you really think you're going to play soon? And if not, if it's something you're interested in, throw it on your wish list. It'll go on sale again, probably next summer, if not sooner.
yeah, don't have friends who want to play every new game. Those guys, that's like keeping up with the Joneses. That's tough. They'll make you buy DLCs you don't even want.
Mm, it's true.
And
Unless it's
if
Space Marine 2,
yeah,
then play that.
right, or if my friends hear this, play Dune Awakening. What are you doing? Just buy it. So we can play. I haven't bought it yet, but if they buy it, I'll buy it. Even though I'm the one that wants to play it. Gamer logic. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, so where can we find you, Scruffy, after
Yeah,
today?
I'll be, yeah, same places as always. I'll be in the Reach Discord. I'll be in Marvel Rivals lobbies, chipping away, slowly climbing, but hopefully enjoying it and not getting absolutely incredibly frustrated. But other than that, I'll put my information on how you could reach out to me if you have a question that you'd either like to have read on the podcast with for Romans and me to answer, or if it's something that you want to just ask me directly through Discord DMs. Feel free to do that. I'm here to help and provide my knowledge to you guys however I can.
Cool. And see the show notes, the
And
comments below to find me on the internet, which will also be the Reach Discord, but you'll find me in other places. I'm a Marvel rival. It's funny, we both play Rivals. We don't play together. We should definitely change
mm,
that now that you're a PC gamer, PC Master Race. Woo! I love consoles. I love my Switch, but their PC gaming is definitely it's a whole other level of gaming.
yeah, I definitely think it's now that I've joined the dark side, I definitely think it's the best place to be.
Yeah, one more convert down.
Yep. All right. Well, this has been DLC Podcast, a finance podcast for gamers. Thank you all so much for coming. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Peace.